Hello, I'd like to make you a little video of how we make maple syrup in central Wisconsin. Here's the cook shack. Last year we added a cupola to the roof and we added the west wing on for wood storage. And as you can see, there's a lot of wood out here. It takes a lot of wood to make syrup. Over here is a big tote we use for storage. And a couple of the wood collecting wagons here. This wooden wagon we use for tapping and untapping the trees. I have a pair of these little carts I built. They have receiver hitches on the back, so one can go in front of the other. But we hook them together and it looks like a little train going through the woods. And we can usually come home with around 250 gallons. Here in the wagon is a milk strainer with a PVC drain and a 2-inch fitting that we screw on top of the barrel, and the sap is poured through the strainer into the barrel, and it keeps the sticks and the bark and bugs and stuff out, keeps the barrels clean. Here's our sap tapper. We use this to drill holes in the trees. It's made from a McCulloch 1010, and it takes less than 2 seconds to drill a hole with this thing. I got a pair of them and they work just wonderful. Here's the cooker. We built this last year and it seems to be working very well. It has a 32 by 8 foot pan, and underneath the back end is a blower that makes it boil just terribly hot. Back here is a little flat area. We can throw a frying pan down if we want to cook some breakfast or something. And in here is some copper tubing. It's 100 feet of copper tubing that I soldered together back in January. And what it does is we got a barrel up there, and it comes down the line, and it goes through 100 feet of copper tubing, and there's a valve at the end, a brass faucet, to regulate our speed of sap travel. And when we got it cooking this much steam and everything, it'll come out of there about 80 degrees. And then back here's the addition. This is where we store the sap and the wood. And when the guys bring it by milk can or by barrels, we use that pump back there to pump it into these tanks. And from that we have a sub pump in the tank that pumps it through this Culligan water filter up that line up to that barrel up there. And that barrel holds about 60 gallons. And when we have this thing running at high speed, we'll go through 40, 45 gallons an hour, which is enough. We got probably around 700 trees tapped this year, and we've been having absolutely no problem keeping up. And here's the finishing pan. When the hydrometer's in that cup, and when it starts to float, we'll draw the syrup out of this pan and we'll bring it over here and we'll finish it off to the proper density. That syrup needs to be so that, well, for one, it doesn't turn into sugar at the bottom, means you cooked it too far, or too runny because it's not cooked down enough. And there's a clipboard, and everybody that brings sap in, we write down the date, the gallons, and then we use this little tool right here, and that measures, we put a drop of sap on there, and that will measure the density of sugar that is in the sap, because everybody brings some that's just a little bit different. But yeah, this is the Cook Shack, and hope you enjoy the video.